Hello. Today I'm going to read from a personalized book called School is Fun, or this is the Spanish cover version, Colegio es Divertido. My apologies to you Spanish speakers who feel I've blown it. I'm reading today. This particular sample was given to Michael Anthony Grissom, and it says Michael Anthony Grissom has fun at school. Dedication line, the first dedication line is "We love you," and the second dedication line is the year 2010, and the book is from the 2010 kindergarten class. Today is going to be so much fun, thought Michael Anthony Grissom, age 3 of Waterford, California. That's because today I get to go to Moon Elementary School. And that school is optional. You can put in the name of the school. If not, it just says we'll go to school. Earlier that morning, Michael had dressed quickly and rushed through his breakfast. "Slow down, Michael," Mom and Dad said laughingly. Michael seemed more excited now than he had ever been before. When Michael arrived at Moon Elementary School, he ran up the steps to catch up with the other children. Michael ran to his very own locker. As he opened the locker, Michael thought he heard a rustling inside. "Is there something inside my locker?" Michael wondered. What could it be? Just then, Mrs. Robinson walked up and said, "You'd better hurry to class, Michael." The name of the teacher is also optional. If you don't provide a name of the teacher, it just says, "Just then, a teacher walked up." Michael decided to close his locker and investigate the noise later. Michael was curious about the strange noise, but he joined the other children in the classroom. It was time for reading class. One of his favorites. Mrs. Robinson opened a big book and said, "Today we're going to study the raccoon, and at the end of the day, I have a surprise for you." Michael forgot all about the strange noise and tried to figure out what the surprise was going to be. After learning all about raccoons, the children went to the art center. "I want everyone to paint a picture of a raccoon," said Mrs. Robinson. Michael worked very hard on his painting. When he was done, all the other children admired his painting. "Michael, that is a wonderful painting of a raccoon," said Mrs. Robinson. "You are a very talented artist." Michael couldn't wait to take the painting home and show it to Mom and Dad. Now, Mom and Dad in this book were the names of the friends or family members. You can include up to 3 friends or family members. During lunchtime, Michael sat at the table with all his very best friends. They all laughed and shared stories about their summer vacations. Suddenly, Michael felt something bump against his leg. Then the table gave a little shake and a pitcher of milk spilled all over the table. "There must be someone under the table playing a joke," said Michael. But when he looked under the table, Michael didn't see anyone. "There are a lot of strange things happening today," thought Michael. Just then the bell rang. It was time for music class. There were so many musical instruments from which to choose. Michael liked the tambourines the best. Mrs. Robinson taught the children a special song about a raccoon. As Michael played his tambourines, he kept thinking about the big surprise Mrs. Robinson had for the children at the end of the day. Now it was time for Michael to go to science class, but when Michael got to the classroom, he couldn't find his lab goggles anywhere. Where could they be, wondered Michael as he looked under the desk. Mrs. Robinson was talking. "Pay attention, children. I'm going to reveal my surprise." The teacher brought out a big box with a cloth covering it. When Mrs. Robinson removed the cloth, there was nothing but a large, empty cage. "The raccoon is missing," gasped Mrs. Robinson. "It must be running around loose in an elementary school." Just then Michael thought about the noise he had heard in his locker. Michael also remembered what had happened in the lunchroom today. "I'll be right back," said Michael as he quickly ran from the room. Michael knew just where to go. He ran right over to the lunchroom. As he listened at the door, Michael heard some strange sounds coming from inside. Even though it was dark in the room, Michael wasn't afraid. He opened the door and saw the strangest sight in the world. A baby raccoon was wearing his goggles. And that's not all. The raccoon was eating a leftover sandwich. "Look what I found," said Michael with a big smile as he brought his new fuzzy friend back into the classroom. "Michael, you found the baby raccoon," said Mrs. Robinson happily. "You've saved the day." The other children gave a big cheer for Michael. "This really has been the best first day of school ever," said Michael. "I was right when I told Mom and Dad that school is fun." Michael Anthony Grissom, enjoy this book, a special gift from the 2010 kindergarten class. You may order this book at my website. Look for more information to the right of this video. Thank you.